So back to the channel guys in another brilliant and tactical chess game of mine in which I played a brilliant move that led me to win the game, and I didn't checkmate my opponent, but his position got so worse that he had to resign. So without any further ado, let's continue. So in this game I had the white pieces and I opened up with e4, which is a king's pawn opening, and opponent played d5 and I played knight to f3, and I don't know which opening is this. I think it is the Alekhine's defense, but I am not sure. But according to me, this simply blunders a pawn, and after that on move 3 I was completely losing because I blundered a piece, a full knight on move 3, and had my opponent saw it I would have resigned on move 3, but I waited for my opponent whether he can see my hanging knight or not, and as expected he didn't see it and played knight to f6 instead, and now I defended my knight with the move c3. Opponent plays c6, and now I played d3, and I tried to trade off black's strong central pawn on e4, and black didn't allow it and instead counter-attacked my knight via e5, due to which I had to move my knight to b3, and now my opponent continued development with bishop to d6, and now I played bishop to e2, and after that he took the pawn via e takes on d3, and I played bishop takes on d3. Opponent castled king side and I also castled king side. Opponent plays e4 to gain a tempo on my bishop, and I played bishop to e2 because I wanted to control the d1 to h5 diagonal, because I was afraid that my opponent might give a Greek gift sacrifice. So I wanted an additional control over the g4 square as well. That's why I played bishop to e2. Anyways, opponent played queen to c7, pressurizing the h2 pawn, due to which I had to play h3, and after that knight b to d7 was played, and I continued with c4, and opponent centralized his knight with the move knight to e5, and I pushed c5 attacking my opponent's bishop, and he had to move his bishop to e7, and now I developed my second knight on c3, and opponent played rook to d8, gaining a tempo over my queen, and I moved my queen to c2, and now opponent played knight to d3. And why is this a blunder? Now at first glance this move doesn't look like that it blunders a knight, because if I simply directly take the knight with my bishop, then my opponent can simply capture my bishop with the pawn, and he will have a passed pawn on the d file supported by my rook. However, what my opponent missed was that I can actually play knight takes on e4, which is what I played, due to which the knight on d3 lost one of its anchor and became undefended, and now only the rook defends the knight while my bishop and queen both attack the knight, and in that way I actually succeeded in winning my opponent's knight, and I gained a piece advantage that way. So anyways, opponent played knight to f6, and now I played bishop to g5. Now my opponent played g6, and I quickly took advantage of the weakened dark squares in black's camp with the move bishop to h6, and now my opponent centralizes his knight with the move knight to d5, and now I pushed f4. And why is this a blunder? And this move gives away all the advantage to black and takes away all the advantage from white. Why so? Because now black can simply play bishop to f5 to trade my light squared bishop, and then I'll have no attack whatsoever. But instead of that, opponent played bishop to f6 and I again gained a slight advantage. And I continued with my plan with f5. Opponent played b6, which was a big blunder, because here comes the great move f takes on g6. And in this position I'm asking black a question, that do you want to take me back? Because if you won't take me back, then I'll surely take you with a check. So instead of that, instead of ignoring the pawn, black played h takes on g6, and in this position I unleashed the deadly and powerful bishop takes on g6. And for what a brilliant move this is, because first of all it opens up the black king, and second, even though you will be able to defend against the checkmate, which is very easy because the black queen guards the whole 7th rank, but even after that the f file will be open. What will you do about that? So anyways, opponent proceeded to capture my bishop, and now I played queen takes on g6 check, and opponent blocked my check with the move bishop to g7. And now I played knight to d4, trying to bring my knight into the attack. And opponent made a mistake of playing queen takes on e5 and completely missed that I had this knight takes on c6 fork, and in this way I forked his queen and the rook. My opponent again moved his queen to c7, and he made sure that he at all costs guards the g7 bishop. But I didn't care and took the rook with my knight with the move knight takes on d8. And the misery for black is that black can't even take my knight, because if he does so, then he'll get checkmated on g7. Furthermore, I'm planning to play either knight to f7 or rook to f7, due to which the queen will lose its vision over the bishop, and black will get checkmated in a few moves afterwards. So for following reasons, my opponent resigned in this position and I won. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.